this is temporary. Maybe we'll last to January. I lost control when you call me baby. If I go down that road, you know you're coming with me. But I chase rainy days. Oh, I love the way it tastes. On the mattress where I feel safe. The look of bliss on your face.
This album has been my obsession recently. It's like an old school Ed Sheeran album. This was like the A-Team, Drunk, You and I, like this era of Ed Sheeran. It reminds me of high school in the best way. So this is what I've been listening to when I get ready. I'm just really liking like revisiting my record collection and just like getting transported back to the times when I was listening to these songs. Good morning. It's Friday and I'm so excited to have a self-care relaxing day. This morning I did yoga for stress relief. It's a video by MadFit, one of my favorite yoga practices. I'll definitely have it linked down below. And I also did like a dream life visualization. I'm trying to get more into using visualization as like a manifestation method. So basically in this video, she walks you through envisioning your day-to-day dream life. So like waking up in your dream apartment, like going to make yourself coffee, all of these little things that you would do in your future reality. And you're just supposed to like sit back with your eyes closed and really try to feel as if you're present there. I'll have that linked below too. On the days that I have more time, I've really been into doing that. So yes, today is Friday and I've had a very work intensive like grind week. I almost like pulled an all-nighter. That's how much it was a grind week. I feel like I'm back in college. I did everything yesterday and Wednesday so that I could have today fully for myself, like a full self-care day. And then I'm going out tonight for the first time in literally months. I haven't been out in LA since Halloween and it's, what is it, April? March? I don't even know. March, I think. First things first, I'm gonna go get ready and then we will get started on having like the most chill, the most fun day of my week. Hello, I finished my makeup. I'm feeling very cozy, wearing a little sweatshirt. I lit this candle, which smells like, I guess, coffee, while I did my makeup, which was very nice, maximizing the self-care vibes. Now I'm going to go do my favorite like self-love activity, which is going to Alfred, getting a matcha, and reading a book. I've talked a little bit about this before, but I love going to Alfred. I can also walk to it, so it's really, really nice to get me out of the house and get some fresh air. This is the book I'm reading, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It's very popular right now. You've probably heard about it. At first, I was kind of like, not getting the hype and I was just like, this is just sort of traumatic. Like there's a lot of like abuse and like really heavy shit at the beginning of this book, like in Evelyn's story, and I was just like, this is not pleasant. Like, why am I reading this? Why does everyone love this? I can be like very sensitive towards things like that. But then the further I got, it started to get a little bit better and there started to be more like silver linings, and now I'm like thoroughly invested in the book. So it definitely took some time to start getting into it, but now I sort of understand the hype. So I'm gonna go read a little bit of that and enjoy myself a nice little day. Very excited, very, very excited. I feel really, really good. So pretty. Bro. Look at her. Wow. So I ended up going to Abbot Kinney in Venice with my friend Sergio, as you guys saw in the last montage, which was really, really fun. Yesterday I had this moment. I was looking out my window and I was like, the only person I've talked to today is the barista I ordered my coffee from this morning. And I usually like being alone. I don't really get lonely, but this was the first time that I remember feeling lonely. And I think honestly, just the sheer amount of solo computer work that I did this week really like took a lot out of me, like really drained me mentally and emotionally. And it just felt really, really good to get out, to go to someplace new and to hang out with somebody who I really, really enjoy. So I'm really, really trying to practice balance and know when I need a day to refresh, and if I can take that, like, or as soon as I can take that, giving myself that time to like take a day off, focus on doing something fun, like genuinely not allow myself to do productive things. Like I need to set those like strict boundaries with myself sometimes of being like, no, like you need to rest. Like we're gonna take this break, we're gonna take this day and just focus on pouring back into myself, fueling myself up, like refilling my tank basically when I get super drained. So I'm planning to go to this like outdoor bar later tonight. And honestly, until then, all I really wanna do is go sit by the pool and do more reading. I'm really loving getting back into fiction. I was reading primarily nonfiction for a while. If you guys saw like my whole like self-development book video, I talked about a lot of the nonfiction that I've been reading, but I really am enjoying getting back into fiction. It feels like getting back to my roots because I used to read a lot of fiction when I was younger. If you guys have any book recommendations, definitely leave them in the comments. I'm super open. I really want to like dive into some new books that are really good. So leave your suggestions below. I'm gonna go finish this toast and then go chill by the pool. All right, hello guys. It is later in the evening. I feel like I need a necklace. So it is later in the evening. I'm about to get ready to go out and I wanted to just chat with you guys, do a little bit of a chatty get ready with me and sort of dive into some of the stuff I was talking about earlier with like loneliness and navigating friendships and relationships in this early 20s, just moved to a new city type of stage of life. I do generally tend to redo my makeup before I go out just because I want to feel fresh, and throughout the day it really like gets worn down. So first things first, let's talk a little bit about this sense of loneliness that I've been experiencing. So I've been reflecting a lot the last couple days on just sort of my approach to socializing in general and what this idea of myself as an introvert has done sort of to my ability to build relationships. I think, and don't get me wrong, I do think I'm an introvert. Like I definitely need time alone to recharge. But I think that the types of friendships and relationships that I've had in the past that were really draining and not very uplifting or encouraging or giving good vibes are part of the reason why I have always felt like I'm an introvert and I prefer to be alone. I think that being like sort of a sensitive, I guess, person and being in these like not great relationships slash friendships made me think that I needed to like isolate myself, or that I just didn't really like being around people, like I would never feel accepted or comfortable. And I think that this has bled into my friendships in LA, because genuinely every person that I've met in LA has been wonderful. I have met some of the best people I've ever met while I've been here, like such genuine, kind humans. I have never left an interaction with one of these new friends feeling drained. I always feel energized and happy and excited after I hang out with one of these new people. So I almost feel like my past conditioning from the types of relationships that I was used to having before has really impacted my ability to let myself build a close web of friends here. And I feel like when I get close to one particular person, whether that was a best friend or a boyfriend, I have a tendency to isolate myself from a lot of the other people in my life and only hyperfixate on that one relationship and pull all of my social validation from that person. And I don't think that that's healthy, because then if that person's unavailable or if we're not talking at the moment or whatever's going on, like I feel really alone. So I don't think that that's good. And I just want to be so much more self-aware and be like, okay, like, am I getting enough socializing this day, this month, this week? Am I dispersing my social interaction? Am I pouring energy into the friendships that I'm excited about and care about? I feel like in a lot of areas of my life, not just socially, I struggle to find balance because I tend to go to one extreme or another. Like either I have way too many plans to the point where I'm draining myself and I overcommit, or I don't see anyone for several days and I feel like I'm going stir crazy alone alone in my apartment. Like living alone, this is something that I feel like you really have to think about because it can start to drive you slightly crazy, especially since now I want to transition to working from home. It's like I'm literally going to be alone in my apartment so often that I need to be so intentional about making sure that I have set times to get out and to see people and to have normal human conversations, because as much as I love this idea of being independent and as much as I think I like my own company, humans are not meant to spend all day, 5 days a week alone in isolation, staring at a computer screen. Like that is so against human nature and what we naturally want to do. Like we're social beings, we, like being in nature. Like these are the things that fuel humanity a lot of the times. And I feel like I'm resisting those sort of like natural impulses by spending all day alone staring at a screen. Because even if I'm not doing computer work, being totally alone in silence is kind of difficult / boring sometimes. And I often like have YouTube videos on or the TV on. Like I tend to have something playing. And so being purely alone with nothing playing, just silence and me, isn't my dream life. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I want to live alone right now. Yes, I see benefits in it. And I don't think I just want to jump into having a roommate. But like my dreams isn't to spend all day inside on a computer. And I think even though that logically makes a lot of sense, when I had this idea of, oh, I want to live alone and I want to work from home, I think it was a lot more glamorous in my head. And now that I've gotten more of a taste of it and I've spent full days alone in my apartment staring at a computer, I realize just how much that's going to be a challenge. And I'm going to have to put forth effort to make sure that it can be healthy for me. Speaking of my living situation, something I've been thinking about is that I think I want to move. Not to a different city, obviously. I love living in LA. I've talked to death about how I love living in LA, but to a different area and into a bigger place. This studio apartment, you can pretty much see all of it, is very cute. But like I said, if I'm gonna be working from home and I'm gonna be home a lot of the time alone, I need more space. There's just not enough distinction. Like my bedroom is my kitchen, is my living room. There's so many reasons why I find that like not ideal. First of all, I really need / want a desk. I do all of my computer work like at my kitchen island, and it just feels like there's a lack of sense of separation. Like I eat in the same spot that I do work, and my work is like a few feet from my bed. Like I just want some separation between my living space and my like relaxation space. This studio I think is great for someone who's like super on the move and who's rarely home. It's very cute. Like I love the area. I love the complex. I just think a studio for what I need is not ideal. Another factor that sounds kind of silly, but it is something that I'm considering because I am on this whole YouTube grind, is that I want a place with more spots to film and with more natural light and with more visual interest. Like, yes, I could have furnished this place and made it a little bit more exciting to look at, but at the end of the day, it's like I have one window. If I want natural light, I gotta face this way and I've gotta be pretty close to it. And so I have like a couple filming spots. So from like a content creation perspective, it gets really frustrating trying to find new and interesting ways to film in this space. And I just feel like having a fresh new space with more room and more little corners and more spots that get good lighting during the day, like I just feel like that would be so motivating to make me want to create more content and be more creative with my shots and with like having different scenes and moving around my apartment between different shots. I want to be able to create content that's more dynamic and interesting like that visually, but I just don't feel like this space has the flexibility. Now comes the unfortunate part, which is that in order to be able to afford a 1-bedroom, I'm gonna have to move to a different part of LA, which sucks because I love my neighborhood of LA. I live in a very suburban-y area of LA, surrounded by lots of young people and lots of pretty spots, and it's just been so beautiful and nice. But I need to be realistic that like at this point where I'm at currently, my interior of my apartment matters a little bit more than like the area and the vibe, because I'm spending and have to spend, if I'm gonna work from home, so much time inside my space. That's been sort of how I've been feeling recently. I feel like I'm in a period of high change and a lot of uncertainty, and I feel like I've felt that way for like a month or so, where a lot of things are just sort of up in the air, and I just sort of have to see how things unfold to know what the right moves to make are. And I feel like this time has really like made me want to get more in touch with like my more spiritual, mindful side. I have such a tendency to try and control things and to sort of try and force what I want, and when I don't know how to make it happen, I tend to get frustrated and angry and suddenly think that it's not possible if I can't see the path to it right now. And I realized that like I can't make sense of what the right move is. I can't make sense of every rejection, why I haven't gotten these jobs that seem perfect for me, like what the universe is trying to steer me towards. Like I can't control it, I can't understand it. So I've been just really trying to learn how to let go of this crazy control grip. And instead of trying to obsess over everything, instead of trying to fix all my problems by working harder or trying harder, I'm really just like learning how to let go and how to like trust the universe and trust that things are working out in my best interest. And honestly, it's just like really pushed me more towards spirituality, because I've just sort of realized like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what the right moves are. I want so badly to be happy and to be able to achieve my dreams and all these things, and I am doing everything I can. I feel like I'm going through the actions, I'm exploring the paths that are sort of being set in front of me. And at this point, I think the best thing that I can do is to release control, to trust the universe, and to sort of ask for guidance. Trust that like the life that I've dreamed of is manifesting and unfolding, even if it might be happening in a way that either isn't clear to me or isn't what I expected. Also, I really like how my makeup is looking today. Okay. One of my all-time favorite creators on this platform is Lynette Adkins. She makes a lot of videos on like spirituality and mindfulness, and she has this video all about desperate energy. Also, I've gotten into this habit where I take a liquid eyeliner and like a tiny pencil brush, and I'll actually like smudge the brush with the eyeliner and use this to do my eyeliner, and it makes it a lot easier to have like a more precise application. If you're someone who always struggles with accidentally making your wings like too big or too dramatic, this makes it a lot easier to control it. Anyway, as I was saying, so Lynette talks about desperate energy and how trying to force things to work out is ultimately holding you back from things naturally unfolding in your favor, and that a huge part of like manifestation is the releasing of control and not trying so hard and being so intense and desperate basically to make things happen or to make more money or to succeed, that you're actually pushing it away with that like resistant and desperate energy. So that's just something that I personally am really trying to learn. Obviously, this is all like my personal spiritual beliefs. This is just the personal journey that I've been on, because I've always been, okay, how am I gonna make it happen? I'm gonna put in the work, I'm gonna put in the time. Like I've always been a very hard worker, and I've always admired the people who seem to just like relax and things happen for them. And I think that I need to find a balance, because I like the fact that I'm driven, I like the fact that I'm willing to put in the work, but I also think that I need to learn how to trust and let go every once in a while and let things happen for me instead of trying to force them into my life. I feel like one area that I really struggle to relinquish control over is making money. Like I have a hard time believing that I am capable of and deserve to make money, and like a substantial amount of money. I think I just have some internalized beliefs that like the things that I want to do, the things that I'm passionate about, aren't lucrative. And even though I've seen evidence of people doing exactly what I want to be doing and making a lot of money from it, I have this idea that it's just like not accessible to me for some reason, and that it's impossible. And it comes up all the time, and there have been scenarios where I've had a chance to practice like acknowledging my worth and demanding my worth. So like, for example, like with all of these job applications, when people ask for my desired salary, I have a tendency to get scared and give them lower than the actual number that I want to be making. And something that I'm actively having to practice is saying the number that I want, aiming high. And I was always so scared to give them a number higher than they were willing to pay. But it's like, if it's higher than they're willing to pay, like you can negotiate with them. They're not going to be like, oh, we definitely don't want to hire you then because you're asking for too much and you're crazy and egotistical. Like I think I had a secret fear that someone was going to call me out and be like, you're not worth that. Why are you asking for that? I just think that's so fucked up. I don't know. I just want to heal my negative beliefs about money and how much I deserve and can make. Makeup's almost done. It is really fucking hard to do my makeup, not being able to see myself, not gonna lie. Hopefully it looks okay. My eyelashes are looking a little spidery. That's okay. If there's a time to have spidery lashes, it's when you're going out, right? Okay, I'm gonna wrap this video up because I have friends coming over and I need to eat dinner before we go out. I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. I hope you liked all of the chats that we had in it. Definitely let me know if you can relate to anything. I always find it very therapeutic to hear that other people share some of my feelings. So I hope you guys have the most wonderful day. All right, I'll see you next week. This is your daily reminder that if you're going to be drinking alcohol, eat some carbs beforehand, okay? Pro tip, don't make the same mistakes I have.